The sun dipped low over the valley, painting the hills in shades of gold. Below, nestled in fertile plains, lay the twin cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, lands rich in soil but poor in virtue. From afar, they seemed like a blessing. Green fields, flowing water, markets filled with the noise of trade. But beneath the surface, a darkness had taken root, one unlike anything the earth had yet seen. Lut, nephew of the great prophet Abraham, A.S., had walked beside his uncle for years, learning the ways of truth. He had seen the idols in Babylon topple under the force of reason. He had watched fire lose its power over Abraham by Allah's will. When Allah commanded, Lut left the blessed companionship of Ibrahim and journeyed east to the valley, sent as a prophet to its people. He arrived a stranger, just one man among thousands, but his heart burned with purpose, to call them back to the worship of Allah, to cleanse them of their corruption. What Lut found shocked even his seasoned eyes. The people of these cities had not only abandoned the worship of Allah, they had abandoned the natural order itself. Men desired men instead of women. Violence and shamelessness were public, celebrated even. Strangers were mistreated, robbed and humiliated for sport. Lut stood in the market square and spoke. "Will you not fear Allah? Will you not return to the path of purity? He has created for you mates from among yourselves. Turn to them and not to this indecency. You commit what no nation before you has done." But the people only laughed. Some mocked him openly. Others whispered insults behind his back. His voice was a drop of rain on a stone, hardened by years of sin. Though Lut was their prophet, he was still a stranger in their hearts. Even his own wife's loyalty wavered. She admired the life of the city, the gatherings, the lawlessness. She believed his warnings were exaggerations, and in secret she sided with the people's ways. Nights in his home were heavy with silence. Lut would pray until his forehead rested in the dust, asking Allah to guide his people, or, if they would not be guided, to grant him deliverance from their evil. As Lut's call grew louder, the leaders of the cities grew restless. They confronted him in the street. "Lut, if you do not stop, we will drive you out. You think yourself pure? You are but one man. We are a nation." Lut answered with steady eyes, "I wish for you no harm, only that you turn away from this shame before a punishment from Allah comes upon you." But his words fell into the void. The laughter of the corrupt drowned out the warnings of the righteous. One late afternoon, as the sky blushed into evening, 3 young men of striking beauty entered the city. They were not men at all, but angels in human form, sent from Allah to carry out his judgment. Before going to Lut, they had visited Ibrahim, informing him of their mission and of the child to be born to him. When they arrived at Lut's home, he greeted them with warmth, but also unease. Their appearance was too perfect, their presence too noticeable. He knew his people's hunger for evil. Fear tightened in his chest. "Please," he urged them, "come inside quickly. Do not linger in the streets." Soon, the men of the city gathered outside his door, their voices crude, their demands vile. Lut stepped outside, shutting the door behind him. "My people, here are my daughters. Marry lawfully if you must, but do not disgrace me before my guests. Fear Allah and do not humiliate me." But they jeered. "You know well we have no desire for your daughters. You know what we want." Lut's hands trembled, not from fear for himself, but for the sanctity of his guests. Alone, outnumbered, he whispered to himself, "If only I had the strength to resist you, or could rely on some strong support." From behind the door, a calm voice spoke. "Lut, we are messengers from your Lord. Leave this place before dawn, you and your family, except your wife, for she is of those who remain." Relief washed over him, but it was tinged with sorrow. Before the first light touched the hills, Lut left the city with his 2 daughters, their faces pale in the cold pre-dawn air. Behind them, the sky began to churn. A sound like a great wind rose from the horizon. When the sun broke, it did not shine on Sodom and Gomorrah. Instead, stones of baked clay rained from the sky. The earth itself trembled, lifting the cities and turning them upside down. Screams were swallowed by the roar of destruction, and in moments the valley was silent, its green fields gone, replaced by desolation. Lut never returned to the valley. He lived the rest of his days among believers, his heart heavy with the memory of a people who had refused to turn back until it was too late.